Thursday, May 18th. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. And now, convincingly securing third place in the 2023 Jacksonville mayoral election, J.P. Shadrick.
I don't think so. Welcome in. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. It is Thursday. I am J.P. Shadrick. We've got a busy hour ahead. We're on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, Jaguar social media. The offseason program continues. Phase 2, the final week of that coming up this week. OTAs, organized team activities, begin next week. We'll get some schedule reaction. Jeff Lageman back with us. We'll go around the National Football League as well. Logs, good afternoon. Good to see you back. Welcome.
Good to be seen.
How we doing?
Good.
Yeah. Off-season programs rolling along.
Phase 2.
Mid-May, almost phase 3. And
Phase 2, 3 next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting. I actually caught a little bit of a practice the other day and a little bit of practice today.
All right. You must have sources that can get you around.
Yeah, it's good. And it's interesting how the progression is in the season with these different phases, and to give people an idea of maybe what they are. Phase 1 is when they come in and they're working out and they can meet with coaches. Phase 2, they can actually have some on the field stuff, but there's no offense versus defense drills. They're actually, the offense is on and then they leave and then the defense comes out. Special teams is the buffer between. And then Phase 3 is when they put the helmets on and they can have competitive drills. So it's cool. And then mini camp kind of is on the very end of that. Phase 3.
It's really just phase 3, but you have to be there for 3 days.
Right, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's a great way. You describe it perfectly. It's mini camp essentially, and you have to be there, whereas, for example, like Evan Ingram, he doesn't have a contract yet, so I don't know what the deal is with that as far as would he have to come or would he not. Franchise, he hasn't signed the franchise tag yet, so I guess he wouldn't have to come. But yeah, it's good, and I wish that this had been around a long period of time in the National Football League, back like when I played.
We've heard stories before.
Well, yes. I mean, just because I think it's smart. It's a gentle. I don't want to say gentle. I mean, you're working towards a goal, and I think it's really smart. To where you're working your way with a progression and a mindset that says let's increase the amount that we're doing on the field to where then you kind of hit the crescendo, which is the mini camp. And then you have time off to where players can then fine-tune their bodies prior to camp, and then you hit training camp, and then there's another acclimation period again, which is smart. I mean, compared to the old days where it was like, hey, let's put the pads on and crack heads day one. Made no sense at all. But it's just smarter now.
You got to get to the starting line to begin with, and then in turn that gives you a chance to get to the finish line of the season.
Well, and I think it's changed the mindset of a lot of the coaches around the National Football League in a lot of ways, and that because you see a lot of these successful coaches that have been winning and that they're not concerned about day one. They are, but they know that it's a long race and that you're trying to build your football team to be better when you hit the playoffs. Whereas the old mindset was we got to win them all. We need to be at our best very first day, and if we're not, we're going to be behind. And so it's changed the mindset quite a bit, and I think it's for the better.
Well, the schedule was released a week ago today, and outside expectations for the team continue to rise after the release of that schedule, of course. Well, head coach Doug Peterson was asked at the start of rookie minicamp this past weekend how he manages those high expectations.
The expectation is to win, and that was our expectation last year. And even though parts of the year weren't as good as other parts of the year, that still has to be, priority. You got to win football games in this league, and so. But listen, it's. As you guys know, you've heard it from me a million times. I mean, it's a one game, it's one day, it's one player at a time. It's about the team, and we keep the team in front and focused, and it's the main thing, and you got to keep the main thing, but yet expectations are, to win games.
The expectations are to win, but here's the path to do it. player by player, day by day, building that momentum like you were talking about.
Yeah, and making sure that you're covering all of the things that need to be covered along the way so that when you're hitting your stride in the season, there's very little time to go over the minutia. Once you get in the regular season, you don't have time to slow down. Well, now's the time to slow down and to make sure that everything is taught, it's ingrained into the mind of the players, and the system has kind of an entirety to it to where the team feels comfortable with any aspect of it.
What'd you think of the schedule, Logs?
I like it. I mean, first of all, JP, the London thing I know you're excited about.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be cool to be able to be there for 10 days. I'm glad that it's a home and away game to where it doesn't kind of penalize any of the home fans here. And it's a great opponent over there in the Buffalo Bills. So I'm excited about that. I like the idea that the home opener is against the Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, how could you ask for more there? Will the Colts end up being or will they play a rookie quarterback? I don't know the answer to that, but I like the way the schedule lays out. And first of all, from a travel standpoint, besides 10 days in London, there's no West Coast trips.
No, the furthest west they go is Houston,
which is fantastic.
It's great.
The schedule looks favorable. From hey, look, you got a lot of early home games, but then late in the season you got enough to kind of keep you happy. So I like it. I don't think there's anything negative about the schedule whatsoever.
Primetime games are cool. First time on Monday Night Football since 2011. First time on Sunday Night Football since 2008. Been a while.
Yeah, and that's good. I mean, we were talking before the schedule came out last week, and I was like, look, it doesn't matter, but it does to some extent, just because you want the exposure for your team and for the organization. And I'm glad that the networks in the league recognize that this team is a draw with a young quarterback and a young ascending team to where they're getting this national exposure. They deserve it. I mean, this is a good football team that provided one of the most exciting playoff highlights in league history.
They've got a young, exciting quarterback. They've got skill players around him, defensive guys that can go make plays. And they just now have to go do it on that big stage, too. That's the next step.
The defense, I think the defense is going to need some work. And when I say need some work, they need to improve.
Oh, yeah.
I think the offense, at least it feels, you feel more comfortable when you look at the offense and you evaluate where the offense is at. Defensively, you feel like there's some work to do, and there's got to be a lot of improvement from within. And so can they do that? That's a big question mark.
But there's enough on both sides of the ball and on special teams with Agnew that there's enough to watch nationally. People will tune in for this team.
Oh, yeah, and I'm excited about some of these young players that they brought in. I mean, Harrison, I think, is an outstanding young talent that's going to have I think once he gets even a little bit stronger, he's going to be really good. The tight end, Strange, I mean, I love him just because I think he's going to be an immediate impact guy, just like Harrison. And I like some of the later round picks, their ability to compete and to contribute on special teams. With the very last pick of the draft that they got, the linebacker / fullback from Houston. I can tell you, watching the film on him, JP, I wouldn't play him at fullback. I'd play him at linebacker.
You said that last time.
I know. I'm sticking with it.
But he was lining up at rookie minicamp, at least with tight ends and doing all that stuff.
So. Yeah, I know. And watched him a little bit this week, and I'd play him at linebacker.
Okay. All right.
I'm not saying anything bad about what I saw. I'm just saying that I still like the guy at a linebacking position.
By the way. That's real. He's been in the weight room.
Yeah, he's put together. Yeah, I probably couldn't be one of his workout partners. I can tell you that. But look, the phase 2 stuff. Doug Peterson runs just such a really smooth, organized practice, and it's just impressive to watch.
This is the first week where obviously the rookies are in the building with the veterans at the same time. So
right.
The rookies were here for their own minicamp, and there were nearly 40 players for the rookie minicamp, including some tryout vets, some tryout rookies as well. And after the fact, and we'll go over this a little later, they've signed a couple of those guys and released a couple of the undrafted players that they had signed right after the draft. But now the rookies are still around, and they're with the veterans on the field in phase 2, and it's their first opportunity to interact with the veterans on this team, with the coaches on the field, and all together as a team for the first time. And as you said, next week they'll crank it up just a little bit more at least and put the helmets on and phase 3 OTAs.
Yeah, it gets a little more competitive there, because then you start having offense versus defense, which is prohibited in phase 2. But it's been good, and when you watch them out there this week, you can kind of tell the guys that are rookies and the guys that are veterans. The rookies are making sure they're giving 100% on every play, and the veteran guys, it's just a little bit more relaxed for them because they know what they're doing, whereas the rookies are just trying to soak up everything that they can, and they're attentive and full of energy.
First impression of Anton Harrison when you walked on the field the other day?
Good size, but he's not as big physically as a Cam Robinson. I mean, Cam Robinson is kind of like a freak.
He's tall and long arms and the
but
whole deal. But
he looks, like some guys look inflated. Mm-hmm. Like they shouldn't be walking around at 320 pounds, okay? And when I saw Anton Harrison, I said, he can put on another 15 pounds and really not have him look – he would still look great.
Yeah.
So he's got an opportunity, I think, to get even bigger. But his athleticism, I think, is really what stands out. He's got great feet, and his hands were very impressive when I watched the film on him. And you can tell watching that the guy works hard, and that's impressive, and that's what you need. When your better players and your high draft picks have a certain established work ethic, that kind of raises the level of the work ethic of everybody around them, and that's what you want.
Sounds like he's going to get every opportunity to be out there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they play. The other guy that I had a short conversation with today is Josh Wells. He looks great. He looks great, and he's so excited to be able to come back. And he's had a house here since he was here as a player before. He's neighbors kind of with Tyler Shatley, and they've both got, their family's got kids. And, he said it was kind of neat. He says, when I got here, I was kind of young and immature, and then kind of went away and grew up, and now I'm back. And so I'm excited for this football team to have him because I think he's a really good swing tackle option. And he looks so much bigger than what he did. And I was like, dude, I said, well, how much you weighing now? And he goes, I think I put on about 25 pounds since I was here.
Wow.
And I'm talking solid 25 pounds now. I mean, this guy
not eating Cheetos 25
No,
pounds.
no, not
different.
Not the Jeff and JP 25 pounds.
Right. I can put it on.
Yeah, we could put on 25 pounds, but we could, I don't think we could do it like that.
No, we certainly
But
cannot.
it's good to see him. I mean, he's a good guy. I mean, he's one of those guys that, when they keep talking about that culture fit, I mean, he's one of those guys that fits the culture, and that's exciting to have. And the reality is that you can never have too many good tackles in this league. You just can't.
You said they're neighbors, Wells and Shatley. You think there's a fishing boat on that street anywhere?
Probably.
A couple.
Probably.
I would guess.
Yeah.
For sure.
And a lot of play dates with the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. There's kids running everywhere, all over there. The Jags are excited to take the field this fall, and we want you here for all the action. For as low as $57 per game, you can join the ranks of the most dedicated fans and become a Jags season ticket member. Find your perfect seats at jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Rookie tight end Brenton Strange explains what 2 tight end sets could bring to this offense, and that's next on Jaguars Happy Hour.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Honey, are you using the hot water?
No.
The water's cold again. How can we fix it? Did you just quack like a duck?
Yep. Duck Duck Rooter, your plumbing pros in Northeast Florida. For water heater installation and service, including tankless water heaters, gas or electric, call for a quote today.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
We serve up a lot of different things at Dailies, but there's one ingredient that goes in everything we make. That's quality. Whether it's a piled high breakfast biscuit, a sub, or tacos and quesadillas for the whole family, you get more delicious choices and quality all the way, all day. Quality meats, quality fixings, quality everything, right down to the quality person that makes it for you. That's what we know Jacksonville deserves. Quality made fresh. Dailies.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Ford Spring Sellathon is here. It's the one sales event you don't want to miss. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks 46 years straight. Get a great deal on a new Ford F-150 with available Pro Power onboard that gives you the power of a mobile generator. Or get low financing on a spacious new Ford SUV designed to help you make the most out of the extra daylight. But don't wait. These deals won't last long. It's the Spring Sellathon, only at your local Ford dealer. Based on 1977 to 2022 CY total sales.
When Jaguars news breaks, you'll hear about it first on 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Spread formations, but you have big personnel. How does the defense match up to that? Do you play your nickel package or do you now play more of a base package? And can you create a mismatch by having a lumbering linebacker on the field with Evan Ingram, who's really a jumbo wide receiver? When you put multiple tight ends on the field and you put them attached to the tackle, you now create an extra gap for the defense to defend. And depending upon, maybe you put both tight ends beside each other on one side or opposite sides, it now forces the defense out of its comfort zone because it may be an unbalanced formation in terms of the symmetry isn't ideally the same.
That's Bucky Brooks from the Huddle Up Podcast. Wednesday, available in the official Jaguars Podcast Network. Bucky Brooks of NFL Network, of course, and Jaguars Radio sideline analyst. Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman, Joe Fortunato, David Cho, and glad you're with us today as well on Jaguars.com, Jaguars social media, 1010XL AM, and we're everywhere. We are everywhere, Logs. If you can't find us, look somewhere else. We're somewhere. We're everywhere. YouTube,
everywhere.
Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. That's your purview.
Are we on the website?
Yes. It's a free one, too.
Beautiful.
Jaguars.com.
Beautiful.
No charge.
Good.
So, 2 tight end sets, and that's the conversation. We'll hear from Brenton Strange coming up, the Jaguars rookie tight end. But you talked about him just a moment ago briefly. Just your first impression, okay, he does have some size to him. He can move a little bit. You saw him on tape at Penn State move all over the formation, and him combined with an Evan Ingram gives play callers and play designers all kind of opportunity to cross up a defense.
I think Strange has got a unique ability to where he can play multiple tight end roles, whether it be an F, which is a fullback, H, which is a move tight end off the line of scrimmage, or even a Y, which is attached to the line of scrimmage outside a tackle. I think he can play any of those roles. What impresses me the most about him is his willingness and how good he is at blocking. And when I say that, there's a lot of tight ends that we've had here in Jacksonville that have been good at blocking, like Mercedes Lewis, okay? the one we just had. We went to Denver.
Manhurts.
Chris. And Kyle Brady going back into some of the older days. But what makes him a little bit unique is that this young man from Penn State can block really well in space. What I mean by that is that can he block a defensive end on the line of scrimmage? Yeah, he can do that. But is he going to be as good as Chris Manhurts or maybe as good as Mercedes Lewis? Maybe not. But when he has to go down or up the field to block a linebacker or a safety or a defensive back in space, he is so good at that. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's when you watch him, you go, how can anybody be that effective when you're trying to block somebody in a large area?
Who's faster than you.
Yes. But he does it so incredibly well. And what I love about him is that he wants to bury their face in the dirt at the end of the play. And he has capable receiving abilities, more than capable receiving abilities. And so, I mean, you talk about a fun new toy for Doug Peterson to take for a drive in this offense. I mean, I was watching the film thinking of the possibilities going, Doug's going to have a field day.
Let's hear from Brenton Strange, and they used multiple tight end sets up in Happy Valley a good bit, and he certainly understands what that can bring.
Yeah, when you have athletic tight ends such as like me, Evan, Luke, and the rest of the guys in the room, you can create a lot of stress on the defense. It creates mismatches all over across the field, and that's not only in the pass game, but also being able to go out there and run an 11 play and use it as 12 personnel, but then the next play maybe do hurry up or something and go out there and run the ball. So that's the luxury of having great tight ends in your room. And like I was saying to him earlier, I can't wait to get in here with the older guys on Monday and learn from them and just pick up all the little details and everything.
That's Brenton Strange. The full conversation available on Jaguars.com after rookie minicamp practice the other day. And, so his ability combined with Evans, and then you got play designers looking at it all off-season ideas to go with that, and then they go draft somebody to fill that spot. And, hey, now the next couple of months, Press Taylor and company are going to have some fun.
I remember when Strange, the pick was announced, and the big tight end from Georgia, Washington.
Yes, Darnell Washington.
Was still on the board, and a lot of people were probably very surprised. Mm-hmm. And I had not watched tape of Strange up until that point, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I better go watch the film on this guy to find out what the story is. And when I turned on the film, I was like, wow, this is really a unique kind of a tight end that's going to be, I think, in today's day and age of the National Football League, is going to be a very valuable player. And the Pittsburgh Steelers ended up getting Washington, I think, later, maybe in the second round or third round or whatever it was. And I think he's going to be a good player too, but he's very different. He's one of those true Ys. You couldn't play him in a role of the H or the F or anything of that nature. And just to let people know, the F would be a fullback. The H would be just like a wing tight end that lines up more in the backfield. And Evan is more of like an H tight end, a guy that moves a lot. And Evans is a capable, willing blocker. Is he a very strong blocker? No, but he does a good job with it.
And do you want him to go bang in there all the time? No, you want him running routes down the field.
Well, you have two guys that have a little bit different skill sets, but at the same token, they can do some similar things, but they're kind of better at for example, like Strange is probably a little bit better at blocking in open space and being physical, whereas Evan might be a little bit faster when he gets vertical. I mean, so they each have a skill set that the coaches are going to have a lot of fun utilizing. And look, there's a lot of weapons in this offense now.
So that leads us to our next conversation on Jaguars Happy Hour and 1010XL, AM, and Jaguars.com. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman. The expectations for this offense. And we just heard from Doug Peterson a little earlier about the expectations for the team now rising and how do you manage those. Well, let's just go on the offensive side of the ball. When you've got Trevor, obviously, the big receivers coming back, you add Ridley to that. You got the tight end room going now, a deep running back room, by the way, to go with that.
Which let me just add a quick little nugget. Who do you think is faster in the running back room?
Oh, gosh, that's a good one.
Okay, ETN?
You got – so –
or would you go with Bigsby or who would you put how would you rank 1-2?
I haven't. Yeah, I mean,
here's the crazy thing.
ETN probably in the open field, I think, is probably the faster.
Bigsby ran a better combine 40
That's amazing,
than
right?
ETN.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that.
And he's huge,
and he's a
too.
big dude.
He's bigger than you think in person.
He's a big dude when you see him in person. You're like, good God. And he ran faster than Travis Etienne. So I mean, that's impressive. You know, you got two guys that can, when they touch the ball, you could hold your breath for an instant because they've got the speed to go to the house.
And you got Jonas Johnson, who was brought in this offseason, a veteran who's been at it for a while in the league.
JaMychal Hasty did a great job last year, although you'd like to have him kind of more in that special teams role. But if he's asked to do things, he's been very good at it.
Can this be a 30-point-per-game offense? That was what the Chiefs were, just under 30 points last year.
Well, I think a lot of it depends on how good your defense is, because time of possession is going to have, you got to have time of possession to be able to score 30 points.
Or an extra possession or two.
Right. Yes. So, I mean, if your defense is giving up 10, 11, 12 play scoring drives, then no, you can't get to 30 points a game. But if your defense is stout and turning the ball back to its offense or to the offense, then sure, they could score 30. But the most important thing is scoring more than the opponent.
Right, yes.
It's
if
not
you score
30
and they're scoring 31, guess what?
If you got 3 and the other team's got 0, that's enough. You're good.
3-0. I don't think we'll see any of those.
I played in one of those.
Really? When?
Yeah, New York Jets. When I was with the Jets, we played at Washington, and we won 3-0.
I covered a 3-0 Sun Bowl one year.
Exciting, huh?
Pitt and Oregon State. What a way to spend New Year's Eve in El Paso.
Exciting game there now.
That'll bring him out.
Yeah, I like good defense, but not to the point of it being 3-0.
Let's score some points, man.
Yeah, point. I love.
Come on, offense sells tickets.
I was one of those people that held on to. I like good defense. I don't mind low scoring games.
I didn't say I don't like good defense. I like good defense.
Yeah, there can be good defense in a 55, 60 points overall scored in a game. There can be moments of great defense, but you don't have the defensive dominance when you have a 55, 65 point total game.
No, that means teams are scoring on you sometimes.
And I don't know. Will there be dominance on the defensive side of the ball anymore? I mean, who was the last great dominant defense in the National Football League?
Everybody kind of looks at the 2000 Ravens, right?
Okay.
It's a milestone team at least.
And today's best defense, probably the 49ers?
Yeah.
I mean, kind of looked at around the league. Mm-hmm. But you go back and you look at the Ravens, okay, when they were really good.
Yeah.
You go back prior to that, what do you think? 85 Bears?
I mean, that's one of the big milestone teams, sure.
I mean, can you have a team that has that dominant defense? Because, here's
some of those Cowboys defenses were pretty good.
But here's why I bring that up.
Yeah.
On offense, you can be consistently good at scoring a lot of points if you have the quarterback.
Correct.
Right? On defense, it takes a lot of players. I mean, think about some of those great defenses that we're talking about and the layers of great players that they have.
That Broncos defense that won the Super Bowl 50,
but they weren't on the level of the Ravens.
Pass rushers,
Okay, but they weren't on the level of the Bears or the Ravens. Yeah. But I mean, you have to have so many components to have that level of defense. Can you ever get there in free agency unless all of a sudden you just nail a couple drafts in a row?
And I mean, the rules are slanted towards offense so much now.
That's right.
That if you're going to pile up money on the defensive side of the ball, they're going to get yards on you anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's
penalty yards or otherwise, they're getting yards on.
Interesting conversation though. But are the days of the dominant defense gone?
Yes,
I hope not. At least in Jacksonville, I want to see this defense get dominant.
Let's get some takeaways around here.
Yeah. Well, last year they did a great job with that.
They did. Early and late. Middle season,
early and late.
So
yeah,
much.
They got a little bit kind of in the middle. And turnovers, I think, made this defense better than what they were. I think the takeaways, which are a great thing, don't get me wrong, but I think the takeaways maybe masked a little bit of their issues that they were having. Mm-hmm. But that's okay. I mean, as long as it's happening, that's good. And but you've got to progress to where, okay, if we're not getting that many takeaways, you still have to elevate the level of play to a better level for this defense. And that's the challenge with Mike Caldwell and his group. And I think Mike Caldwell is a good coach, and I think he's going to have learned a lot from year one. Mm-hmm. And I think they will have learned a lot about the personnel that they have on that side of the ball, because they have a lot of young players. And when you have young players, you think you know what they do good, but sometimes until you get your hands on them and get them in your meeting room and get them on your practice field for a long period of time, sometimes it's hard to kind of figure out exactly what they do well.
Or get them in live action. Yeah, that's when you really find out.
Well, think about Devin Lloyd. I mean, Devin Lloyd didn't have any training camp last year.
That's right.
And so you thought that he would be okay. And then at the beginning of the season, he came out like gangbusters and was playing fantastic. Yep. And then hit a spot where he struggled a little bit, and they had to sit him down. And now all of a sudden he started getting better towards the end of the year. But that's one player that I am really excited about watching this year is Devin Lloyd. And the reason why, we had a little meet and greet kind of thing with some potential season ticket owners today.
Yeah.
And I was asked about Devin Lloyd from one of the guys that was in there. And I said, out of all of the components of the defense and really the team in general, that's probably one of the more excited parts that I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Because, he had moments where he struggled last year, but then he also showed moments of excellence. And when you hear about the type of person that he is and the type of leadership that he has shown in his past, mm-hmm. you know that he has the makeup to come out of this on top. Can't wait to see him play this year.
Logs, you're a wine drinker, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
Well, I need you to elevate your game day experience with Vine 04 Napa Valley. It's the official wine club of the Jaguars. Sip on handcrafted Napa Valley wines and show your team pride with every pour. Visit vine04.com and sign up to receive 3 or 6 premium Napa Valley wine bottles twice a year, along with exclusive access to private events and complimentary tastings. Join the Vine 04 Club today and toast to the Jags' legacy with every sip.
You're not a wine drinker.
I could join the club.
You could join.
I could join the club.
That was a no.
I could join the club.
No, I'm not a wine drinker.
GM Trent Baalke on how the draft board fell. That's next on Jaguars Happy Hour.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
As the official dentist of the Jacksonville Jaguars, ASAP Dental is a champion of the dental game. Let them win you over with full-service dental care and the same-day smile you deserve. Open 7 days a week, ASAP Dental has 8 locations to serve you in the Northeast Florida area. So come see them today. With their exceptional experience and care, you're always treated as the MVP. Visit asapdentalcare.com or call 904-500-2727 to book your appointment today.
Reconnect with the best version of you at Amara Med Spa, Northeast Florida's premier luxury medical spa, located in Ponte Vedra, Town Center, Avondale, St. Augustine, and Fernandina. With the most advanced injectors, estheticians, and technology, Amara Med Spa is redefining beauty, offering services such as Botox and filler, M-Sculpt Neo, painless laser hair removal, and advanced skincare treatments. Visit theamaramedspa.com and book a complimentary consultation today.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ready to go nuts? Fresh, hot, salty, boiled peanuts. The roadside stand flavor that made the South famous is now available at all Jaguars home games. The Ray Peanut Company puts a little South in your mouth with the briny perfection of their original recipe or peppery kick of their authentic Cajun recipe. Packed with protein and superfood nutrition, they're the MVP of snacks. Get them at the game or from your grocer's freezer and enjoy them at home. Go Jags, go Ray, go nuts.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Jacksonville Sports Talk for Jacksonville sports fans. 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
But for the most part, you got to stick to your board, and we did that. You know, the plan wasn't to go in and draft 3 offensive players necessarily in a row. That's just what happened.
Right.
But we're excited about what happened. So, again, you worry about what you can control. You worry about the plan that you have set forth internally, and you let other people judge it however they want to.
That's Trent Baalke, Jaguars general manager, with John Oehser on the Ozone podcast this week, available on the official Jaguars podcast network. They sat down, they rehashed the draft, the build-up, the aftermath, and the first time seeing all the rookies on the field last weekend. So check it out. It's available now, Jaguars.com, and click the podcast link at the top of the homepage, and you can listen to, hey, guess what, Logs? All the podcasts. They're all right there.
That's a good thing.
They're free there, too.
Can you subscribe?
You can subscribe anywhere you want. iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you download fine podcasts.
I'm a Spotify guy.
You are?
Yeah, I'm a Spotify guy.
I have it at the desk. Like if I'm sitting in the office, I'll have it on. Yeah, Spotify.
Spotify? And that's the only one you're subscribed to?
Well, no, I'm subscribed to the iTunes feed.
Okay.
On Apple. It's you might have heard of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a company out of
I've heard
Washington. Yeah. So yeah. And I think I have the iHeart app too. So I've got them all. I can get all the Jaguars content my ears can handle.
You got a lot of content on your phone then, if you got a lot of apps.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss it because I'm not on every show.
You watch your own stuff too, don't you?
It depends. Sometimes. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a show.
No, it's a show.
Make sure we're doing things okay.
Exactly. That's the response that I wanted to hear.
That's all we're doing.
Self-evaluation.
You're
That's
always
a good thing.
watching the tape, man.
Yeah, watch the tape.
There's
Check
always,
the tape.
Always a way to get better.
Check the tape.
Check the tape Tuesday.
I like it.
Thursday. What day is
Tuesday.
This? Thursday?
Tuesday.
Today's Thursday.
Yes, but
Check
normally
the tape
I do
Tuesday.
check the tape Tuesday.
That's another show.
Yes.
Which is
what?
Jaguars Today.
Jaguars Today with Mike Dempsey on 1010.
Well,
yes.
There's something wrong with you, too.
I know. It's all good, though.
Hey, rookies, we talked briefly about these guys. Anton Harrison, the offensive tackle. Brenton Strange, we heard from earlier. Bigsby, of course. You know, you mentioned there's some room for Harrison to grow, but it sounds like he could have an opportunity early. Well, Strange is going to get some time, obviously. Bigsby's going to rotate in there. These guys are pretty much grown men. They're ready to roll. They can all grow in certain ways, I'm sure, but just seeing Strange and Bigsby up close for the first time this past weekend, that was a little eye-opening for me.
I think that the ones you're talking about are immediate contributors. And I think you also have some immediate contributors from a special team standpoint. Abdullah, I think, is going to be an immediate contributor on special teams.
He's broader up top than I thought he was.
Yeah, he's fast. Yeah. Fast, and he's got a great closing speed that is impressive, and he's got great bend. He can bend it. I think the only thing, one of the reasons why he fell to or where he was drafted is where he was at is just because of the height thing. I mean, if all of a sudden he's stretched out and he's 6'4", he ain't going to be around in round, 4 or 5?
May not be around in round 2 at that rate.
Yeah. So, that's the only reason why. But yeah, I think it's a good draft. But, again, we kind of did this exercise a couple of weeks ago, and that you want to evaluate a draft, go back 3 years ago. And
we did that. Yeah,
or go back to the draft 3 years ago and evaluate that draft. And,
we did that.
And then you find out really how good it is. But from the appearances on the outside, it looks to be a really good draft. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited about Harrison. And that was a guy that I remember watching him, and I went, wow, this guy's got really good fundamentals. He's got really good feet, got really good hands. But the thing that he did that was the most impressive watching him on film was just that the consistency at finishing. And, JP, how many times have you told me or have you listened to me and I've said, these guys got to finish better. They got to finish better.
I told you that all the time. So you got that from me.
Okay.
We need some finish out of you.
That's fine. And so
it does. That's and you hear it out on the practice field all the time. That's what it's about.
Finish, and Harrison finishes really well watching the tape. And I will say that, look, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again because I really believe this, that the Jaguars have one of the best offensive line coaches in the National Football League in Phil Rosher. If you think about what he was able to do with Jawan Taylor in 1 year and what he was able to do with the feet of Cam Robinson in a limited amount of time. It's hard to change guys' old habits and to change the way a guy works his feet. But he was able to do that with those two guys in a short amount of time.
And he had Ben Bartch improving as a starter at the beginning of the year.
Jawan Taylor gets $20 million a year.
I'm sure Jawan's going to send him a fruit basket.
I hope he sends him something.
Yeah, better.
And JP, if it's fruit, he's cheap. It better not be a fruit basket. It better be something better than that. I mean, buy him like a parcel of land that has 100 acres of apple trees or something.
Yeah, that. Absolutely. No, and he's got some great guys to work with, and that was a big piece of it. Obviously, the guys who stepped in when players were injured played well on top of that, so they were ready to go. That tells you about the coaching behind it too.
Well, and I'm excited to see how Bartch comes back from the injury.
Yeah. Last we heard from Trent Baalke, at least in a setting with press conference setting, was that, he may not be ready for the start of training camp. That's what Baalke said. We'll see. It's still very early, and we got plenty of time.
But he's a guy that I thought he improved, and you remember I gave him like one of the most improved player awards a couple years ago because I thought he played exceptionally well. And made.
I don't remember that, but I'm sure
2 years ago I said I thought he was one of the most improved players on this football team.
Did you get an actual trophy for him?
I don't give out trophies. I give out just
compliments
of verbal congratulations. Yes,
yeah, that's good. That goes great on the mantle
awards.
place.
Yeah, they don't. It's got no value whatsoever. But I thought Bartch did a tremendous job of improving. So last year was the 22. So after the 21 campaign. I thought he was one of the most improved players on the football team, did a great job. And then he got hurt this past year. I know he's working his way back. Again, I've said this also before, that Robbie in the training room is one of the best rehabilitation guys in the business. And these guys that are coming back from any kind of surgery are in very good hands with Jeff and Robbie and that whole staff. They do a great job. But I'm looking forward to seeing Bartch come back and see him compete and see him get better. And then watching some of these young guys that they drafted, from Central Florida, you got one, you got another one from Appalachia State, the Hodges kid who's a local guy.
That's right.
Seeing how they're going to do, and, I like it, and look, Anton Harrison is going to be living up to some high expectations. first-round pick offensive linemen in this franchise, especially the one that was picked first by the name of Baselli, did a pretty good job. Eugene Monroe was a good, solid player.
But didn't get a second contract here.
No, and then Luke Jokel was –
didn't either.
Oh, that was a rough one. I thought he was going to be a good one. I missed that one. And Anton Harrison, I think, is going to be a really good one as well. So it's going to be exciting to watch the progression.
We're back in a moment. Signings. The Jaguars have signed some players this week. We'll recap it all. When we return, it's Jaguars Happy Hour.
Hey Jags fans, Brian Sexton for Dreamfinders Homes. In a complex housing market, do decisions on the biggest purchase of your life stress you out? At Dreamfinders Homes, they can build the home of your dreams in one of their many communities in Northeast Florida. With a mortgage company in-house, they're here to assist you throughout the entire process. Choose from their wide range of single-family homes or townhomes from the 300,000s. Dreamfinders Homes specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. Call 904-590-2545 or visit dreamfindershomes.com. Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's time to play Fix That Plumbing Problem. What do you do if you have a leaky pipe? Contestant 1.
Put a bucket under it?
That's it.
And maybe a towel?
Contestant 2. That's right. Just call the doc.
Clogged drains, leaky pipes to full repipes, just call the pros at Duck Duck Rooter. Commercial, residential, any plumbing issue.
When you're stuck, call the duck. 904-862-6769.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Reconnect with the best version of you at Amara Med Spa, Northeast Florida's premier luxury medical spa, located in Ponte Vedra, Town Center, Avondale, St. Augustine, and Fernandina. With the most advanced injectors, estheticians, and technology, Amara Med Spa is redefining beauty, offering services such as Botox and filler, M-Sculpt Neo, painless laser hair removal, and advanced skincare treatments. Visit theamaramedspa.com and book a complimentary consultation today.
The Ford Spring Sell-A-thon is here. It's the one sales event you don't want to miss. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks 46 years straight. Get a great deal on a new Ford F-150 with available Pro Power onboard that gives you the power of a mobile generator. Or get low financing on a spacious new Ford SUV designed to help you make the most out of the extra daylight. But don't wait. These deals won't last long. It's the Spring Sell-A-thon, only at your local Ford dealer. Based on 1977 to 2022 CY total sales.
The station that the Jaguars listen to, 1010XL. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. It is Thursday afternoon if you're watching us on Jaguars.com or Jaguars social media, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. A live look at rainy downtown Jacksonville, the Miller Electric Center. It will be open for business July 1st. The Jaguars will get the keys, begin moving in. They'll be ready for training camp on those fields, in front of those stands. And even with rain like this, the fans will be covered because there's a cover over the stands. How about that?
Yeah, that's a really, really nice setup there. And the nice thing is that the fans, or the stands, have a northern face. So
you mentioned this too.
Sun at the back. That's a good thing.
Are we going to get the high tide report too? While we're at it?
Maybe. It's a cool complex. So I can't wait to see it. What's amazing is how good the grass looks.
It's fantastic. I mean, it's all irrigated from underneath.
Wow.
And air blowing and the whole thing. Yeah,
that's pretty crazy. Now, irrigated from underneath.
There's a pump somewhere over there that pumps in the water from underneath.
So it doesn't have sprinkler heads that pop up and go.
And no crown either, because it all gets sucked out.
Interesting.
The rainwater. Yeah.
What kind of grass, JP?
I'm guessing Bermuda 419 is my guess. Tiffway, Bermuda, I'm guessing. That's the only grass I know right now. It's not St. Augustine.
It's the only one that's in your your memory bank.
That's usually the one football fields use, right?
I don't know.
Bluegrass?
I'm
rye,
not. Yeah,
I mean,
I have no idea.
Who knows? I don't know, but it's going to be awesome. So we're looking forward to that. We'll have some new studios in there as well. I haven't had a chance to see those. They're being built right now. So, a lot of surprises coming a little later this summer and into the fall. And there's no better time to become a Daily's Place Blue member than right now. Reserve your 23 premium seat membership or your individual luxury experience today, and you'll get guaranteed seats in the best locations for all the shows and so much more. Email ticketing@boldevents.com or call 904-633-2000. Logs, I was thinking about this during the break. We mentioned your award that you gave out to Ben Bartsch.
Yeah.
It was a verbal award. Remember, they used to have the All-Madden team. I think they gave out jackets for that, maybe.
No. No, they didn't give anything out.
They didn't give anything.
No.
Okay, I was wrong on that. The All-Iron team, Phil Simms used to have like an iron little award thing. You should give out like a Lageman award, and have it like a piece of wood or something. Like it's
a piece of wood. Some
log, a log of sorts.
A log.
See,
I like
Get
that.
It?
I like that.
I don't know what would be for.
I don't know either.
Maybe you should,
We're going to engrave something on the log, JP?
Hey, it's your award. I don't know.
Where is he? What do you want to do with that?
You can give it to players at the end of the year.
Does it have to be treated for bugs and all that
Probably
stuff?
so, or it's going to
termites
go bad. Yeah, you don't want that. But some keepsake for some of these guys at the end of the season.
Sure,
I'm sure it would go right up there.
How many kind of awards how many awards are we talking about?
Okay, maybe you could do.
Give me some categories.
All right.
If we're going to do an awards, we got to have categories.
Comebacks from the most surgeries. That would be one.
No, let's just have comeback player of the year.
Biggest bass caught in the offseason.
No.
You could do that too.
That's terrible.
No?
That's terrible.
Most impactful defensive lineman.
I like that.
See, there's one.
Yeah,
but
that's a good one.
It could be anything you want. It's arbitrary.
Who would you give that to from this past season?
Devon Hamilton.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a good candidate.
Is this a committee meeting right now? Are we talking about?
Yeah, we're having a committee meeting. If you had to give an award to the most impactful defensive lineman from 2022,
I don't know. I mean,
who would you go with?
You're not. Are you counting outside linebackers in this?
Yes.
Okay,
you'd have to.
Josh Allen down the stretch was fantastic.
He was fantastic.
The last month of the season was fantastic.
Yes.
So that's hard to overcome.
And got him into playoffs.
Correct.
With the play against Tennessee.
Yeah. Clutch catch of the year.
Even though outside linebackers are called linebackers, I mean, I still consider them part of the big guys group.
Yeah. So you could have all kind of award categories.
Yeah. If you had to give out a most improved player from this past year, who would you give it to?
From 21 to 22?
Yes.
Oh, Trevor.
Absolutely.
All day.
Who would be in second?
You could do that from first half to second half if you wanted to.
Yeah, somewhat. Well, who would you give it to in the second place finisher? I think that's a great question.
It's a good one. Rayshawn Jenkins?
He'd be a good candidate.
I mean, he was good anyway, but he got kicked out a couple times 2 years ago.
Right.
He was upset with everything going on.
Love his energy. Glad that he was able to re-sign. I mean, another one would be Juwan Taylor, who we just talked about.
Was a good one.
A guy that got dramatically better.
All right. Well, who's going to win him this year? Who's going to be the most improved Jaguar?
That's why we play the games.
This is why it's May and we're on the radio. We got to talk about something.
That's why we play the games.
So you're in for this award idea. I don't know who's paying.
I like the award idea.
I don't know who's paying for these awards.
We just need to find a
new sponsor.
We need to find a chainsaw guy to make us some trophies.
We can make the trophies easy. That's the easy part.
Yeah. I like it.
I do like it. We need something like that. We need you back in the film room, too, by the way.
I've been in the film room.
Well, no, we need you like with the public film room presenting it to fans. I know they didn't ask you. I know your agent was involved. It's a whole thing.
You know, the interesting thing,
I missed that.
I don't know exactly how it works now because with the college players, are you allowed to show the college film?
I don't know. Probably not.
Well, you have to. I think there has to be a certain amount of money that's paid for the right to show that. So, and I don't know if does the league pay for that? Does the team pay for that?
Probably. So,
but I mean, I can watch it all. But
can't show it on broadcast.
Can we show it here on Happy Hour one day?
Probably not. I don't know though. I'm not a lawyer. I
don't know either. And if so, can you reach into your pocket and put your money into the slot?
Yeah, why not?
The slot.
I don't even think they use that. That's so obsolete now too. You pay everything with your phone. You don't have to do that.
So then you can Venmo them.
Right.
You can
just,
Venmo
Apple Pay, but you're not you're an Apple guy.
Who does that money go to? Does that go to NCAA? Does it go to
the XOs people who run the video
NIL?
Stuff? Oh, right. Yeah. Who gets paid? Somebody's getting paid.
I don't know.
Somebody's getting paid for that.
What's the highest?
It's probably not the guy who shot it in the end zone.
I'm kind of new to this whole NIL thing.
Aren't we all?
And so tell me and explain to me, can a guy actually come into the league and take a pay cut?
Yeah, in theory.
Is that possible?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it depends on because you're getting paid for your name, image, or likeness, and at some places,
which is a bunch of phooey. I mean, you're getting paid to play.
That's what they're signed for is use of their name, image, and likeness.
Correct, but they're getting paid to play.
I'm telling you, they're getting paid for their name, image, and likeness. And then, depending on the place, some places have a bigger fund behind that. And, yes, in theory, if you're a really popular college player at a strong institution with a big donor base and all that, you can make a lot of money. And maybe you don't play that well, you get drafted in the 7th round.
And you would take a pay cut.
In theory.
That's crazy.
You could, yeah.
What's the highest NIL guy? Do you know? Just out of curiosity.
It changes by the week. It feels.
I mean, ballpark. Give me a neighborhood.
I'm in. Bryce Young got the first $1 million deal.
Okay, so there's
that was a couple years ago now. So, and I'm sure it grew after he won the Heisman. So, there's some of that.
I would love to see some of the numbers of what these guys are going to be making in college.
The other part of that, too, is like you see a number reported on some of that, but who's putting that number out? Is the NIL collective people trying to get more clients?
I remember
or is
when
it
I
the
was
school doing
I was,
it? Like
I was,
who you got to? Can you trust the number? I don't know about all the time if you can.
When I was in college, a scholarship athlete at the time, you weren't allowed to work because it would do something. I guess you would be in violation of your scholarship agreement, and so I used to work and get paid cash on the side. And
is it the statute of limitations up on this, or were you to call?
I would think so.
Indianapolis.
I would think so. But I was getting paid, I think, like $5 an hour cash.
Wow, raking it in.
I was killing it.
Big.
Killing it. But there were side benefits, and that the place actually served a lunch, which I got to eat for free there. And then when I wasn't
another violation.
When I wasn't working, I got to drink for free.
That's a third and a bigger violation.
That's where I made my money.
That's the key.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's why you were working. You can't kid a kidder. All right, let's quickly go around the NFL. And former NFL MVP Matt Ryan has joined CBS Sports as an analyst. He was in the studio after the season on NFL Today, of course, is saying he's not retired because the Colts still owe him money, by the way.
Correct. And if he says that I am retired, the Colts could dispute the payments that are still guaranteed to Matt Ryan. So Matt is smart and said that, hey, I'm not retired. I'm always looking at opportunities, because if he says anything different, and the other thing, working for as a broadcaster don't pay $15, $20 million like it pays to play quarterback in the National Football League.
Not for most, analysts.
Yes,
some, not most.
Very few. I mean,
only a couple.
There's one, Romo. He's making
Troy's making
18, 19, whatever it is.
I bet Aikman's making close to that.
Tom Brady's going to be making a bunch whenever
if he does it.
Goes in. But, Troy, I'm sure, makes very good money, but he's not making Tony Romo money.
I bet he is.
You think so?
I bet he is.
I hope he is.
When they moved over to ESPN, I think him and Joe both got it. Yeah.
Good for them. Good for them.
So. Jaguars defense coordinator Mike Caldwell will attend the Coach Accelerator program at the spring meeting May 21st through 23rd in Minneapolis. 40 coaches participate. 16 were in that program last year, including Mike Caldwell, and that puts a diverse collection of coaches in the same room as NFL owners for 3 days.
Well, and that's good. I mean, it gives the opportunity for owners to meet Mike Caldwell and to get to know him so that when openings become available, there is a relationship that has begun already. And I think that's a real positive thing by the league, and hopefully it works to allow more of the minority coaches to get positions in the National Football League.
Logs, your homework assignment this week, work on categories for your new awards next year.
And I will study and Google search NIL payments.
That's great. It's Jeff Lageman. I'm JP Shadrick. Thank you for listening. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.